Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode. A newborn baby was placed in a hot oven by her mother. The child's mother said it was all an accident. Stay tuned as I talk about this tragic murder of a young child. Please like and subscribe to our channel as we bring you real-life stories every week. 26-year-old Mariah Thomas of Kansas City is facing charges of involuntary manslaughter following the tragic death of her 1-month-old infant. This shocking incident unfolded on February 9, 2024, when she claimed she accidentally placed her baby in a smoldering oven instead of the crib. Mariah was attempting to put the baby down for a nap when this unimaginable event occurred. Responding quickly to a report of a non-breathing infant, authorities discovered the heartbreaking scene, noting burns on the baby's body and melted clothing. In a statement to one of her friends, Thomas expressed despair, saying she thought she had placed the baby in the crib but had inadvertently placed the baby in the oven instead. Following this incident, she pleaded not guilty and her trial is set to begin on January 13, 2025. So I think this case is not about an accident. This case is about murder, because nobody confuses a hot oven for a crib. That's just impossible. We don't know exactly how hot the oven was, but the fact that the baby's skin was burnt and her clothing was melted tells you that the oven was very hot. So this lady, Mariah Thomas, intentionally killed her baby. Now the question is, why did she do it? She's claiming it was an accident, but it obviously was not an accident. So this case is developing. So we don't have all the information yet. When the trial actually starts and we get all the evidence from the prosecution and we see what type of defense she's going to put up. And I could already guess that her defense lawyer is probably going to say she had postpartum depression or something along those lines. A simple description of postpartum depression is after a woman gives birth to a baby, she feels like harming herself or harming her baby. This is a real thing, and it happens to many women. For some, it could be mild, and for some, it could be catastrophic. But women who are going through postpartum depression could tell someone how they're feeling and get help. Have someone watch the baby and get some mental health treatment. They can also give up the baby for adoption. They can leave the baby at a fire station so that the baby is safe. The point I'm trying to make here, there are options other than taking the life of the baby. Another thing I want to say is that fathers need to be there to support the mothers and their kids. Too many men impregnate women and then leave them, forcing them into depression and having them struggle to bring up a child on their own. Men need to be held accountable. You can't just go around impregnating women and just leaving. Women also need to be careful about who they have kids with. Use contraception and don't rely on a man to use it, because some men will get you pregnant on purpose and then leave you to fend for yourself. It's not easy bringing a child into this world alone. And here's my personal story. My mother took great care of me when I was a kid, and she still looks out for me now that I am an adult. I don't understand how parents can murder their own kids, and I also don't understand how kids who were raised by great parents can turn around and murder them. I'm so grateful for having an amazing mother. I would do everything in my power to protect her, just as she protected me when I was a baby. If you know someone who's going through a depression and they just had a baby, ask them if they need help. Offer to babysit. It takes a village to raise a child. No matter how you're feeling or what stage you are in your life, it's never a good idea to commit murder. And the worst thing you could ever do is to kill your own child. That child is dependent on you to protect them. And that child didn't ask to come into this world. The least you can do is to protect that child from harm. And the last person anybody would ever think that would harm their child is their mother. I personally think that there should be some tests people need to go through before having kids, men and women, to see if they're mentally stable to have kids, to see if they're financially stable to have kids. Because all of this plays a factor in what happens after the baby comes. Just imagine that 1-month-old baby girl was placed into a very hot oven and murdered, suffocated and burnt alive. That's the worst death anyone can have, whether you're a baby or whether you're an adult. It's the worst. And that lady, Mariah Thomas, she should be put away for a very long time. There's no excuse for her to kill that child, because there are many options she could have taken. There are many avenues she could have taken to avoid this tragedy. That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys in the next one.